Well, welcome back to the V4 Future Sports Festival. Apologies for the extra few minutes there added onto the timer, but I can say we are very close, Richard, to getting into our second game of the day. Our second winners bracket game of the day, of course, brought to you by myself, Brandon Smith, and Richard Buckley. We just saw the Hungarians, the home nation, book a spot in the winners bracket final. It was a very narrow result, a 1-0 win for them, for the team that have the worst defensive record in the knockout stages. Goes to show what performance you can bring in to a winners Wednesday.
No, absolutely. It just goes to show that just because you had maybe a lackluster group stages and you just squeaked through, as we're going to talk about very shortly, by 1 goal in the Polish case, it doesn't matter. Now you're here. It's a new day. We're in knockout football. All you've got to do is get through to the next round. Very impressive performance by the Hungarians. They'll be in action very shortly indeed. But as of right now, we turn our attention to the next game in the bracket. And speaking of the bracket, let's have a look at it.
Let's have a look at the bracket then and how the day is going to be looking. As we said, the bracket will be filled to the brim by the end of play today. 7 o'clock will be that grand final over 2 legs, where someone will pick up €11,000 and that title of the 2021 V4 Future Sports Festival. Winners in this new 2v2 format we find ourselves in. The Czechs are currently, of course, in that loser semi-final. Who will be joining them? That is the bigger question. That's what they're playing for, of course. The gold medals, the silver medals, and the bronze medals. Only one team, Richard, can get their hands on that, and the prize money that comes with it.
Yeah, they certainly can. That's the trophy that they're all aiming to pick up on. Very excited to see how each team does go ahead with the upcoming matches. But as of right now, Brandon, we've got a very interesting game coming up, because we've got the Poles against the Serbians. The Serbians have come into this tournament and surprised all of us, and we caught up with Krun LX before this game started to get his thoughts on the upcoming semi-final.
Yeah, probably against Hungarians, obviously the home team, but also Croatians and Romanians were amazing. I mean, those guys here, they're probably the best players in the region, and it's an honor competing against them, and it's an honor representing my country for me. So that's a 1+ motive for me. We know each other for a long time. I mean, like 4 years. We were signed by Red Star Esport. We were professional players. Now I'm a content creator only, and he is still a pro. So I adapted to his style, and he knows what I can do, what I can't do. So it's a good match between us. Actually, we practiced against Polish team. It was both times tied, so I think 1 goal will decide who's going to the finals. So basically, we'll see.
It's a brilliant story. It really is with the Serbians. I mean, they're 2 former teammates at Red Star Belgrade. Bristamir, now a free agent. He was with the team for 3 years, Richard. I made the joke of him. If he went and won this tournament with Krun Alex, surely they'll both get re-signed.
I mean, look, the big thing is when you look at the actual individual performances from these two, they're not by far the best players here, but they've just mixed together so well, and the chemistry is off the charts.
Yeah, the words that Krun Alex used last night when we were leaving the venue was that I just adapt to him. You know, he's the top player. I just adapt to him. However, on the flip side, we've got another great team. It's Team Poland, made up of Lizek HD and Bajot. We caught up with Bajot yesterday after his performance in day 1.
Actually, we scored these 3 goals in the second half of the second game, so it was very tight. Also, the first half of second game, they were having a lot of possession, and during the halftime, my teammate Lisek just told me that, man, we have to just play our game because they dominated us in the first half, and like something has changed. We started to getting better situations, yeah, and we were clinical in it. So we scored 3 goals, and it was very important in the table. Yeah, we started preparing for the tournament like 3 weeks ago. The preparation was good. We played online several matches, like that was more than 30, 40, I guess. And also we practiced also yesterday. It came quite good against Romanian players. They are also very good, and against Croatia players. So they will be playing the second group, and I think they are very strong. Yeah, we are very satisfied that we passed the groups, because the first match we lost. and it was like the second match was we needed to win it. We needed to win it, but we changed our attitude. We didn't remember about the first loss. That was a little bit unlucky, I guess, because we are, I think, better team in the first match against Czechs, but in the second they got us. So the attitude was very good in the second and third match, and we are very happy about it. Yeah, as I said before, we played against Romanian one match and 2 best-of-2s against Croatia players. I'm not sure about Romanians, but I think the Croatians players are very, very strong. So I think they will pass the group, and the other team, I don't know. So I think that Croatians, that's my guess.
Unfortunately, they were a great team, the Croatians, but they didn't gel together yesterday, did they? They didn't qualify. One thing that I love about this Poland team, though, Richard, we were having a drink in the back room yesterday in a quick interval break. Those two were in there, Lizek and Bajot, and they were just sort of just saying, we've got a plan up our sleeves for today. They have been working all day yesterday on corner techniques, set-piece techniques, and they just seem ready today. However, the team they're up against are the only team that has got 9 points from 9. It's the Serbians, and they're on the way to the stage right now. The Serbians, aka Bristomir and Krunalex. The chemistry is on par. He said yesterday about throwing his team under the bus that he was playing with an Elite 3 Gold 1 player. He's not played like an Elite 3 Gold 1 player. He's played like a pro player, has Krunalex. They went 9 points from 9. Best defensive record. And who they're up against right now, Richard, is that Poland duo who are also on their way to the stage right now.
We see both teams have made their way to the stage. A little bit more animated in approach than the group stages. They brought out the big walk-ons for the semi-final stages. Do you think they'll watch that opening winners bracket semi-final between the Czechs and the Hungarians, or 1-0 scoreline, and thought, ooh, struggling to score today? Maybe if you were to look at the results from the groups, those low-scoring affairs definitely suit the Serbians more.
They do. The Serbs. Well, I think the stat was the Serbs had 4 clean sheets in individual matches of FIFA in what they had yesterday, Rich. They were the only team that went unbeaten. They have not dropped a game over 2 legs, and their play style is just, I can't really describe it in some ways. It's just so methodical in their approach. They don't score. They scored 9 goals in total yesterday, only conceded 3. They don't score loads of goals, on average compared to everyone else scores, but they don't concede many goals. It doesn't matter if they don't score many goals. If they're winning 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, they don't care. All they care about is going the full way today and picking up some serious prize money. I don't think people really understand as well in terms of Croatia, Serbia, the list goes on, sort of Eastern Europe, that Balkan region. there isn't many opportunities in terms of FIFA esports tournaments. The max prize pot these guys will play for could be €2,000, could be $2,000. You know, this is the biggest tournament, I can tell you right now, that Bristamir has played in terms of an opportunity to win €11,000 between the two players. This is what I mean. This is what the V4 Future Festival is all about. Giving opportunities to those central European countries and really letting them put on a show and showcase why there should be more investment in this esport, or more importantly, why there should be more opportunities for these pro players.
Absolutely. I think as we get into this game right now, the one thing that I've picked up straight away on, look at the positioning, just how 3 of the 4 players are sat, okay? All leant forward, all sort of really focused. Kruna Lex just looks like he's having a casual game of Division Rivals. Sat back. Probably got his shoes off.
That's how he enjoys playing. Well, he isn't a pro player anymore, so to speak. He's a content creator and streamer for Red Star Belgrade.
He's not looked out of place at all, though, in this tournament.
Really, really well. On the flip side, Bajot of Poland is quite hot property at the moment. He has been dominating the FIFA esports scene in general. What a really busy year. He's on 9! Times it green! And the Poles are up here in Budapest. I might be hyping up Bajot, but it was Lizek, his teammate, content creator, YouTuber, certainly not a pro player.
Incredible finish. Green times from R9, powering it in off the crossbar. No goalkeeper in the world is going to save that. And an early goal, something that we didn't really see in the opening winners bracket semi-final, I should say. Between the Czechs and the Hungarians, I think we're going to see a lot more goals, and quite an unfamiliar situation for the Serbians to be in.
They haven't been used to a team sort of going up this early into a game, Richard, and sort of destructing their play style, how they play. They've got a really unique FIFA Ultimate team they've built here. There's a massive Premier League influence in it. You've got Ren and Lodi as well on this left-hand side that links him and Marquinhos. And then across the other side, you've got Rudiger in there, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kante in the midfield, linked in carefully with Nkunku. So a really interesting sort of hybrid they built.
Yeah, just using players that they feel comfortable with as well. The rule breakers, Trent and Rudiger. The road to the knockouts, Renard Lodi, the Atletico Madrid fullback, a really viable option. Marquinhos is one of the best centre-backs in the game. I think he's been across every single team, to be honest. And then N'Golo Kante.
The 2 French midfielders able to link up hopefully across this game. One thing they both do have in common, these teams. They both have R9 and they both have David Ginola. It's not a luxury that all the teams have been able to have in this tournament. The way it's worked is they play on one of the duo's accounts. Kante punched it into the feet of Mbappe. Heavy touch, gives the ball back to the Poles. But what I was saying was Pajot at the moment plays for the national team in Poland. He has been really making a noise in the last sort of 12 months in FIFA esports. You know, you look at Poland, they've got players like Miloš, they've got El Polacco, the list goes on of really, you know, top players. Dami in there, really good Polish FIFA players. And now Bajot's in there is one of the front runners too.
Yeah, when you can go into a sort of team like that where you've got so much talent and cut through as well. You're not on the undercard, you're not sort of one of the players, you are the player. It's very impressive.
And he also did qualify in Season 1 of that Elite Division rival. Push that all the pros are in, so be part of the first sort of online qualifier of the year, the first Champions League qualifier of the year as well. Shows how much of FIFA 22 he has been playing, and no doubt about it, he has grasped this game in both a 1v1 and a 2v2 format. Nicely done. Here comes the Serbs. They want a corner for their effort. Something for the training ground here. Maybe we'll see. Corner played short. And here's Neymar. Trying to run rings around the defender. Intercepted by R9. And the ball will fall finally to Hernandez. Tomori. Another interesting choice of player on the side of the Poles. Their team pretty much standard, their midfield.
You've got Kessie in there.
Does include Frankie de Jong.
Yep.
And Kessie, that strong link he'll get from Tomori, obviously.
And it's all about using... You sort of pick players that you want to use and then have to use others to get their own chemistry. So they probably want to use Kessie in midfield and Theo Hernandez, but they need a centre-back who gives a strong link to them via AC Milan. Can't afford Cordoba, so you go in and get the one to watch Tomori.
Big pass around the corner. David Ginola yet to really make his impact on this final day. Certainly been one of the top goal scorers in this competition. Winner of this plays the Hungarians in the winners bracket final. Winner of that goes into the grand final. Here comes Mbappe now for the Serbs. Comes back inside, does well. Is there a cutback available? Back to R9. Left or right? He's got a 5-star weak foot, but even more so. So Mori will stand strong and just provide a great block there for the Poles.
It was a little bit predictable when it fell back to R9 inside the box. I thought there might have been another skill move potentially coming out. David Ginola here cutting it back to Kessie. Red time shot. He gets the rebound off the post. He did deserve a goal after he red timed it.
I mean, that's the difference for an R9 and a central midfielder from the Ivory Coast who plays for AC Milan. He's not a born finisher in the nicest way possible, and he's not coming close there. The red side was absolutely shocking, whoever hit that one. But then the rebound, you'd think it'd be a certain goal. The Serbs hanging on. If they conceded that, Richard, that would have been... They're on the way to concede basically all the goals they conceded in the whole day yesterday in one leg of FIFA. They only conceded 3 goals yesterday. They would have been 2-0 down at half-time there.
They'd have conceded 2/3 of the amount of goals they conceded in the entirety of yesterday in one 45-minute half of FIFA. But they didn't concede it. They hit the post, and they still have only conceded 1 goal. They've had a couple of chances up the other end as well, and we'll see if one of those chances can turn to gold in the form of a goal.
We're back on the way. And his Winners' Wednesday here in Budapest. First 2v2 esports LAN of the FIFA 22 season.
I'm just trying to figure out on the Serbian side which colour do you think is which particular player, because both of the gamer tags don't really give too much away. NDFK Academy and then also Izad, one Memik.
We need to wait for a reaction of something to happen, I think.
I think the red is Brusmin. Personally.
As we said, they play on one of their accounts. So I must probably guess it's Bristamir if his abbreviation is BRS. What a big win in the back there from the Poles. They've done well. One thing they loved in day one of the competition was a 30-yard finesse. If you've been following the FIFA news in the last 24 hours, you've noticed there was a patch in that patch. I think there was a bit of an increase in speed off finesse shots, which could affect how many of them we see today. That's nice. Ginola once and twice. What a block. Out the back from the Serbs just to keep them in that.
Antoine Rudiger followed Ginola the entire way and made sure that he didn't get an easy rebound as it fell back to him. They've been talking about this corner quite a bit. They pull 2 players short and then you get a spare man there with R9. Ooh. And they knew it because they moved the goalkeeper way out to cover the finesse shot.
I did mention that they had a corner technique or two, but they said one of the problems is just the length of time it takes for players to get into this exact position now, because on the flip side for the Serbs, they're going to get players back, they're going to mark it, finesse comes in, punched away by Petacek. It's straight down the goalkeeper's throat, not really causing him an issue.
Yeah, a little bit too far out to be dangerous, to be honest. I didn't know if we might see a cross from that position there, float one into the back post.
4 shots on target to the 0 from the Serbs at the moment, Richard. They have struggled to create in the final third.
They've had a lot of the ball though, haven't they? We're at 58% of possession that flashed up in the top left corner there, so they've had a lot of it, and they've had a lot of it in these areas, but it's hard getting the ball inside the box to your star players, to Ginola, to R9 in good goal-scoring opportunities.
Mbappe into De Jong, Neymar. Plenty of time and space. We'll find Kessie really should have put the Poles up by 2-0. We hit the post in the first half. One of the last kicks of the game. This is the first time that Serbs have been in a position like this, and they've had an answer for everything up to this point. One thing that a few of the teams said when they did get knocked out yesterday, especially for the likes of Croatia or Slovenia, was maybe just nerves playing on the big stage for the first time in 2 years, or for the first time ever. It's a huge studio we got here in Budapest. The Poles coming forward now. Mbappe at the heart of this. R9 being teased. Will he just queue up for the shot? Back it falls kindly to Neymar. This is Lizek back to his teammate in Bajot. Which, as we said, for a content creator handle that Lizek might have, he is a very, very good FIFA player in the kindest way possible. His repertoire of skills are very impressive. Finesse from distance. Time Green off the body of the Brazilian defender.
I don't know if you're seeing, every time they're in that position to hit the finesse shot, the goalkeeper movement from Brustamir and Kunan Alex, they're going all the way across the goal. They're reading almost every finesse shot, and they're making sure that Petr Cech is right behind every single finesse. Maybe something to take note of.
And that's one thing that one of the players in the teams will always take sort of the handle
responsibility of, yeah.
There's one thing that FIFA Ficho said yesterday in that Croatian team. He was in charge of the goalkeeper movement. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good day for them in the office, but you can already understand the roles and the responsibilities just from this 2v2 setup that are becoming more common. Pause comes in from the Poles. That's Lizek with it. David Ginola could be through. Double tap pass. Just too easy for the defender there. Trent Alexander-Arnold. And the ball back. They love a switch of play from fullback to fullback, do the Serbs. It's their way of trying to just stretch the field, open up the field. To maybe do something now. Kanto. No way through.
Again, looking for that over the top every time almost. It's on Lizek and Bajot. It is successful, but you can become sort of over-reliant on it a little bit. Just offside was R9 with 6 minutes left to play. We'll get to see if there's going to be any changes coming up in this final 5.
Yeah, what changes will be made? Frustrating day for the Serbs. The bigger picture is, though, it's only 1 goal down, but I mean, 1 goal down was enough for the Hungarians in that last game, wasn't it, to get them through?
Right, it certainly was. I think the Serbs will probably be less frustrated so far because they've not really created a lot of like clear-cut chances, whereas the Czechs had 6, 7 really good opportunities to score and couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, whereas what we've seen so far from the Serbs has been building up. You've had a lot of the ball, you've had a lot of possession, but actually getting into the box, getting into those good goal-scoring opportunities has proved difficult, and that is where the breakdown has really started to be apparent.
Vinicius Jr. comes on. For the side of Serbia.
That's a great press.
Could win it back. Oh no, and he's in a running race. What a tackle there. And the PSG defender.
He's onside.
Mbappe in a running race with Hernandez. Added time with just a minute. This ball needs to go in the box, otherwise we will be pretty much there for full time. Great use of his body, scoop turn, ball roll, well played defensively. Big tackle. And a massive one made there from Poland to just keep Serbia at bay. That is leg 1 concluded, and it's just a very, very slight advantage to the Poles as they'll take that into their second leg now.
Yeah, don't worry, you're not getting deja vu. We do. This is the second winners bracket semi-final. However, it's gone the exact same way as the first one did. 1-0 at the break in between the 2 legs. Really.
You can't say too much, though, in the Serbian side. They didn't create anything.
They didn't create too many chances, but the Poles as well. They could have gone 2-0 up with Kessie, but in the second half, I can't really recall a lot really happening. being completely honest. I mean, there was a couple of opportunities in the final third where they could have maybe had a shot. They decided to try and play. The Poles had a couple of chances as well, but it's going to be a second leg that decides this game.
Oh, absolutely, indeed. We are going to go to a quick break now to get that second game ready for you all at home. But hopefully we see more than one goal. We've only seen one goal so far here in our finals day of the V4 Future Sports Festival. Winner of this plays the Hungarians in a winners bracket final. At the moment, it will be Poland, but there's still a second leg to come up after this break. We'll see you in a few minutes.
2 goals, that is all we've seen so far here at the V4 Future Sports Festival Finals Day. You join us in the winners bracket semi-finals where the 2 Polish players, Lizek and Bejot, lead against the 2 representatives from Serbia, Krun Alex and Bristamir. Joined in the commentary booth by myself, Richard Buckley, is Mr. Brandon Smith. We are live on location here in Budapest, Hungary. Incredible 2 days of action so far, and we're only just getting started on finals day.
Yeah, you can already feel the tension starting to build up in our final day here, Richard, can't you? There's money on the line for a lot of these players, the most money they've ever played for or been in the same conversation as one team, one duo will win 11,000 euros come the end of play today here live in Budapest. It's nice to be back at Alan. It's nice to have players with smiles on their faces as well, playing competitive FIFA in front of our very own eyes. And what a game this one has been. It's only 1-0 to the Poles at this moment in time, but we need to see more from Serbia, don't we?
I'll be very intrigued. So 5-6 minute break there. What was said in that Serbian camp? Has there been any sort of words of wisdom? Has there been a tactical or maybe an instructions change? Because yes, they only conceded 1 goal. Defensively, they were all right, but 2 reasons. The Poles didn't really attack that much after they got their first goal, and B, they just didn't. The game didn't have much to it. First goal of the game is going to be offside as it bounces off Janola's head.
Talk about natural instincts, Richard. He's that desperate for a goal, David Janola. He's just thrown himself in front of it. Shame he's offside.
Was it going in?
I don't think it was.
Off the back of the goalkeeper, maybe?
It looked like it was rolling across the line, away from the goal.
Yeah. Incredible cross to the back post as well. That's exactly what we need to see in this second leg. We need to see more higher press, higher octane FIFA, because it sort of went out with a whimper the first leg.
What a start that would have been as well. That was Poland with that chance. Kicking from right to left in that dark strip. Bristamir and Krun Alex from left to right. The Serbs only conceded 3 goals in this whole of the tournament. They've already conceded 1 goal in this game. And with stuff like that, it's just sloppy from the Poles. Giving possession straight back to the Serbs, who at times have looked too comfortable in possession, which is what they've done. It's maybe how they play at times, but there's a lack of urgency at points in leg 1. We didn't see enough of them going forward into these sort of areas now.
They defended well, though.
There was one good chance. There was one really, really good chance, wasn't it? Where I think it must have been Tamori that was right place, right time for the Poles. The only goal that happened was 5 minutes into leg 1. It was a time green finish from R9, right place, right time, like barring in, I think it was.
It's a heavy touch and potentially for a counter-attack here. Sort of 2 against 3 at the back.
Mbappe's there. Ginola will start queuing up. Ginola will now make his run into the box. Here comes Serbia. Corner ball to the Serbs. Coming off the training ground for them, maybe. Played short, nothing too fancy. Lovely little drag back, ball roll. Nice feed from Neymar. Corner again. Got to be careful when diving into tackles like that in the box. Mbappe, reverse elastico. Does he fancy a finesse? No, he doesn't. Back to Neymar.
Sort of stitched him up a little bit, didn't it? I thought a finesse shot might have been on there.
Look at the back post, Ginola. Angle maybe not there anymore. They are queuing up though, the back post. De Jong's in the box. This is Poland. This is brilliant feet. Lizek. Now controlling Ginola. Awful communication between the 2 players, and it's R9 that gets in his way.
Same team, fellas, same team. It's a good ball, it's a good knock down the line.
It does feel like that at times in this 2v2, isn't it? You get the ball into the box, do a couple of skill moves, and if you said, you've got to be careful not to stitch your teammate up, because so many times you just offload your ball to your teammate who's in no man's land. He's got so many defenders around him. Even an Elastico can't get him out of the hole. And it's either a shot off target or a player in the way. Chance R9. Serbia! There was no stitch up in that one. It's a brilliant ball into R9, who turned and hit that one home. Serbia back in the tie. And they've needed something to get them going.
The Serbians coming strong here in leg number 2. Short corner, worked all the way onto the edge of the box. Marquinhos got a touch, fell into Nkunku. He just fired it into R9 in the middle of the box. Enough space to turn and then to fire the shot away. Game on.
Game on indeed. We needed that in this game. 1-1 the scoreline. And now bring the game to life. Double elimination tournament action coming to you on our finals day here live from Budapest, Hungary. We bring you 6 games in total. This is only game number 2, each game, of course, lasting over 2 legs. Hakimi. And that's been outstanding across these 3 days in at fullback, the Moroccan. Providing those strong links, obviously, into Mbappe.
Marquinhos, Draxler, Neymar,
Messi, if need be.
Anybody else who plays for PSG? Kimpembe we've even seen. I think this Serbian team is the only team not to use Hakimi, and they've gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold at fullback.
So that's just because of their Premier League influence in the team.
Yeah, probably just to get Kante in, really. You've got to use Premier League players to get Kante involved.
Ginola. For the Serbs, nicely done. Switched from left to right. They've done this all the time. So good that time there. De Jong, Kessie will win it back. Arline could be in a running race if he can get the ball down. Tries to do a 1-2 between Mbappe and Arno. Just didn't work out. I love a switch applied. Do the Serbs. Allows them just to stretch the pitch so wide. Ginola. Options queuing up in the box now. Well defended. Only 4 minutes away from half time in this second leg. And suddenly slowed down a little bit. Nobody wants to go down to the loser bracket side. Of course they don't. Because waiting for them is a very good Czech Republic team that will be wanting to find the back in there after a very frustrating game.
Probably come out firing, in all honesty, after blanking the winners bracket semi-final leg number 1.
Oh no, good feet. Got himself a little bit too lost there for a period. And referee, that should do us for half-time in leg 2. 1-1 the scoreline in this one between Serbia and Poland. They did find a way back into the game, Richard, but there's still a lot to be said and a lot of time still to be played. If we are all square at any point across 2 legs, we will go to golden goal.
Yeah, after the conclusion of that second leg, it's not going to go to extra time and penalties. We'll go straight into a golden goal predicament. We'll restart the game and it'll just be whoever scores first goes through. As of right now, I would probably say the Serbians look a little bit better in some real sort of tactical analysis here. You can see from the statistics, it's Bristamir saying where he wants the ball, how he wants the passing moves to be done, and more sort of the vocal side of it there from the Poles.
I think one thing that's great this year, we all know due to just the proper manager there, isn't he, Bristamir? Giving you that typical manager on the sideline sort of feel, isn't he? Pointing where he wants the ball. I think he was looking at the heat map to say where the ball's all sort of been for them and also for the Poles, where they switch the ball so much from left to right, left to right, left to right.
And then when to go forward. It's great switching it, but he was probably saying, where can he penetrate? Where can that team then go into the final third? Getting R9 on the ball is imperative as well.
Well, he was the man that brought them back into the game, wasn't it? With an equaliser there. Back to the point. There's just so many in-game sort of stats now and analytics you can look into. Passes made, XG, goals expected. And more importantly, where the ball sort of finds its way into the pitch, where the patterns of play often happening.
Mbappe tracking back. See, it's a team performance when Kylian Mbappe is the one sprinting to win the ball back.
Ginola. Nicely done. R9 for the Poles. They did so well to camouflage that pass around the corner. R9 just about kept his run onside. And he was able to tuck that one past the goalkeeper. They're off their feet in celebration. Because maybe, just maybe, they know how big of a goal that could be.
Probably feels a little bit hard done by, to be honest. The double tap pass, yes, it was a good ball, but I feel as though the defender should be there. I feel like that should be sort of shepherded back towards the goalkeeper or even out to a fullback. R9 using his physicality, his strength and his pace all combined to shrug off the defender and then unleash a strike across the goalkeeper.
And I have to give the Poles credit. They seem so much more fine-tuned today than they were in day one. They've not taken one of those wacky 30-yard finesse shots, really, have they, at all today?
Limited risk.
Everything has a purpose. There's no flick of the coin, roll of the dice. They're not taking many risks. It's guarantees, and that's only what they've sort of been looking for. From doing it, they've looked after possession better.
That could be a red card.
It's the pause menu. We will go. Was it a red card? That is the question. We can't see.
It looks a bit exasperated, Bijot. Is there any changes being made? I'm not too sure.
Of course, we try our best to hold away from those screens in terms of not giving away any tactics to either team or those watching around the world. In case, for whatever reason, they're passing information through the grapevine during the live broadcast.
I'll be intrigued to see if there was a red card or not. It was rash.
Was it Poland that made the tackle?
It was, yes. Doesn't look to be a red card.
Got away with that. It's a yellow card. I mean, they are... Well, there have been, some interesting red cards this year on FIFA 22. I'm sure we've all had one.
It was just he didn't play advantage either. He blew the whistle straight away. Typically, those will result in a red.
Ginola. That's 1-9. It might fall kindly in the area. It'll be Neymar bundled to the ground. Sorry, Mbappe was... Neymar was there to try and pick up the pieces, sorry. Oh, 9. Off the defender, and power of the shot was just all taken out of it via the knee. Oh no, this is a golden chance for the Serbs. What a tackle, Marquinhos.
What a recovery challenge right there. I didn't know if there was a pass maybe on. Could have just knocked it off to his right-hand side. He went for the shot with R9 and managed to get bodies behind the ball, and he's lost possession high up the pitch here. And those black shirts are going to come flooding forward.
They won't get a better chance than that, Richard. Oof. Fair play, though, to the PSG defender. He made the initial mistake and recovered it superbly well.
I still think there could have been done more with it offensively. An extra touch. Just the pass was there to the right-hand side. Probably fell to the wrong man. I think it fell to Kruna Lex. Is that a different story if it falls to Bristomir?
Maybe a skill move just to get away from the tackle, or could have ended in a penalty instead. Have to put it to the back of their mind that they will know what a chance it was. Because right now they are just under 20 minutes away from their first defeat in the FIFO Future Sports Festival. Vinicius was very well into the pause. We shall go again with just 16 minutes left on the clock. This is the Serbs lineup. It's a time with some fresh legs in the midfield. Will it be Fofana that comes on, or potentially Llorente there? Smiles for the Polish duo at the moment. They know what position they are in. They win this, Rich, they go and play the Hungarians.
Yeah, that'll be a great game, won't it, as well? Probably coming into the tournament, two of the favourites, really, battling it out in that winners bracket final. Before that, we've got the loser bracket semi-final as well, which we need to finalise. That'll be between the Czechs and, as it stands, the Serbs.
Which is another great game. By the way, really, really good games we've got here coming your way.
I'm expecting to see Carrasco brought on. That's a typical substitution that they do, and just as that happens, Carrasco comes onto the pitch for David Ginola.
So he'll be out wide. Fofana comes into the midfield just to freshen that up. It's just a double change for the Serbs. Have to defend this corner. Something that the Poles have been working on a lot. They can still find a way into the box here. It's Corona off the bench. As much as they tried to rework it, work it out, it just didn't seem to happen in the end.
It's a good pass.
Watch that run of R9. Round the corner, he will be R9. Here's a chance for the Serbs. Is there a cutback? It was an acrobatic effort in the air. Mbappe couldn't get there. Hernandez could. Mbappe on the rebound. Maybe so. Down to ground he'll go. And Lizette for a second was off his chair because he thought he gave away a penalty. Still, the press is immense. No doubt there's been tactical changes made. Kanta. Carrasco, fresh legs to Belgium. Went for the idea, tried to be clever with the dink pass. Mbappe. Kanta linking in a little trio now. Is there the ball they're looking for? They're waiting for that run. They've got to be calm though. Well played. Kessie steps up with the help of Tomori.
They got away with that, did the Poles. There was a couple of really good chances that went begging. It was sort of like a bicycle kick effort on the cutback from R9. That managed to get thwarted. And then it has just seemed to be a block every time that there was a pass or a shot opportunity. Free kick here from deep, and maybe we'll see something put into the box for the Serbians.
Rudiger, of all people, at the heart of this one. Fofana, it's rushed from the Serbs. They're going to be running out of time now. 2 minutes plus additional time. It's got to be perfect if they want to go to golden goal. If not, they're going to a loser bracket. Mbappe's rash with the tackle. It's a red card. They're down to 10 men, Serbia. I mean, there's only 2 minutes left in the game, but that's a huge player that's gone.
I don't see there being a way back into this, unfortunately, unless they win the ball right now, which they have done. Renard Lodi turns over possession.
Massive tackle again. It's still alive, baby. Play back R9. R9, good feed. De Jong wins it back. Poland do enough. Bojan Lizette will book a spot in that winners bracket final, in which they'll go head to head with the hosts, Hungary. Mona Garbo and Chris Madge. That one plans to be an unbelievable game, but it's their first defeat. It's their first time in the finals day of the V4 Future Sports Festival. First time I've had Serbia involved in a competition like this here from V4. But they just weren't at it today as good as they were. They met their match in a Poland side that just seems to be very polished in the way they're playing, very good, they don't waste much, and they're playing even better right now. Talk about bringing a good performance for your finals day. The Poles look dangerous, but what a game that one also is in the loser bracket semi-final. The Czechs against the Serbs. That's coming up next.
Yeah, 2 games down, 4 to go. We know the losers bracket semi-final. We know the winners bracket final. 2 of the top 3 are guaranteed right now. Hungary, the Poles, and also it will be the Czechs or the Serbs going through to that losers bracket final very shortly indeed. Incredible game. I mean, if there's one thing to take away from today, low-scoring affairs. All the goals from the last 2 days seem to have been wiped away. We've got the best teams from the groups battling it out against each other, and for the neutrals, there's not been too many goals, but the tension and the anxiety when these teams are playing has gone absolutely through the roof. Every single minute mistake, every single minute detail seems to be amplified 100 times.
Yeah, we're not in the actual studio itself. We're a couple of minutes away from it by wall, but you can already feel, can't you, the tension in that studio. What these games mean today. There are serious money in the line now, isn't it? The teams that have made it through could potentially pick up 11,000 euros today. That is how big today really is here in our Winners Wednesday. Just as big as it is for you guys at home to send us your pictures of where you are watching from around the world. With thanks to our sponsor in CU, you guys have been sending selfies in with teams you've been supporting that are in the final today, maybe teams that have been knocked out the tournament, a favourite pro or a favourite creator. There should be a unique link available in the Twitch chat right now. Give it a click, send us a selfie, and you might win a V4 Sports Festival power bank sign from us all here at the studio live in Budapest. So get yourselves involved. We want to see your selfies, and I'll just keep asking Richard to see if he can give us one a little bit later in the day.
It'll be coming. Just wait. We've got some big games of FIFA to come first.
We have got some big games on the way. After this break now, we'll have our elimination game. One of these teams will be going. It'll be the Czechs or the Serbs, leaving us first here in our finals day on Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
Yes!